One of the difficult things about tweaking guitar pedals is those knobs, those pesky knobs. You're playing your guitar, but your hands aren't free. So you've got to kneel down, balance your guitar on your leg. It feels like it's going to fall on the floor. And then you've got to strum a chord or pick a note and let it ring out while you reach your hand down and move the knob. And that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to set the sound for the actual song that you're trying to play. So how about I show you how you can turn those knobs with your feet while you're playing exactly what you need to hear, so you can set that sound exactly right for what you need. We'll use the Strymon Cloudburst, which is an awesome MIDI controllable reverb, and I'll show you how to do exactly that with our BRIDGE4 MIDI controller. Let's go. Okay, so here we've got our BRIDGE4 MIDI controller that's been set up to control the Strymon Cloudburst. Over here on switch 2, we've got a bypass and engage switch. You can see as I toggle that on and off, the light on the Strymon toggles on and off. And then we have a scrolling switch which just scrolls through a few of the presets. As we press that, it sends program change messages up to 6 and then back to the start again automatically. And then up here, here's where the magic happens. This is a sequential switch, and I have every single one of the knobs on the Cloudburst mapped to this switch. So currently it's mapped to the mix knob, and if I press it, it goes through to pre-delay, tone, mod, and then back to the start, decay, mix, pre-delay, tone, mod. So every time I press this switch, it actually changes which MIDI message the expression pedal is sending. So that means that as I scroll through these knobs, mod, decay, mix, pre-delay, tone, I can move the expression pedal to any position while I'm playing exactly what I need to be playing, and I can move that knob with my foot and then move on to the next knob, move on to any knob, press it twice, go back to the mix knob, adjust that. And then once I'm done, I can put down my guitar, press and hold the Strymon foot switch for 2 seconds, it flashes green, and then I can send a preset number, and now preset 1 is the settings I just sent. So if I go through back to preset 1, it actually recalls all those settings that I just set with my foot while I was playing exactly what I needed to be playing. And so now I know exactly what it's going to sound like. So to give you a little idea of what that sounds like, I'm going to start playing an audio loop, and we will play with the knobs and then save the preset. So we'll turn off the bypass, turn it back on, and that's where we're at the moment. This is the sound we have at the moment. So we're on the decay knob. Let's adjust the decay. Decay is not one on the Cloudburst that you can really do on the fly. Let's change to the mix knob. Now there's 100% reverb. Turn that off and you just get your dry signal, obviously. Increase that so it's pretty wet. You can go through to the pre-delay. Starting to make some weird sounds with that pre-delay all the way up. Just dial that back a bit. Go to the tone knob, roll that right back. Go to the mod. Just set that a little bit. To mod. Then when we're ready to save, hold the foot switch again. It's flashing green, send a preset, done. Let's go over to the computer and I'll show you how we set that up on the BRIDGE4. Okay, so here I've imported the file from the BRIDGE4 to see how it's set up. We've got our bypass switch here, and the messages on there are from our device library, where we've grabbed in the controller 102 and value 127 and 0 for toggle on and toggle off. That bypasses the Cloudburst. Then we have our presets switch, and you can see it's set to scrolling mode. set to always send, so every time you press the button it will send that program change message, and we've limited it from program change 0 to program change 6 with a step interval of 1, so it'll always increment that program change by 1. And we go over to the messages. In our scrolling stack, we've added the program change message there, so that's what tells it to start with a program change message from program change 0. Then in our bank settings, we've gone to expression messages on expression pedal 2A, which is the pedal I'm using today. I've gone into our device library like so, effects, Strymon Cloudburst, and then all those different knobs are there. We can go delay, which is controller 12, 0 to 127, select the sweep curve for the expression pedal. You just save that and that adds it in there. And so I've done that with all those knobs, one after the other, in the order that they are on the pedal, so I could easily remember how to label them when it comes to the sequential switch. And without a sequential switch, when I move the expression pedal now on this bank, every single one of these messages will be sent at once and be moved by the expression pedal, but we don't want that. So the last step is, after setting those expression messages, we go to our switch, we set it to sequential mode, and we put the direction on as forward, which is just default, and then in messages we go to sequential, and for each step I've added here, which we can reorder if we need to by dragging and dropping, I've labeled them with the knob label. I've kept them all the same color, but you can label them different colors so that each step changes color, so you can have a quick, easy reference instead of having to read that label on the screen. And then I've added a smart message. Now this smart message is a go to expression step message, and that makes the expression pedal just send one of the messages that's in its stack. So I've gone to our 2A expression pedal, and then you can see here in the list we've actually got all of those 5 knobs because I've set those already. That's what I've called those steps. So we can go to step 2 or step 1 with that message, save, and as you can see here we've got them all already filled in. Step 1, step 2, 3, 4, 5, and that means every time I press this sequential switch it will bring up the next label and it will be sending the next message on the expression pedal, and that's how you set that up. The last setting, of course, you have to check is your Flexiport settings. Make sure you've got your Flexiport ready to accept that expression pedal input, and I've also used a Flexiport for the MIDI out to the Strymon Cloudburst because they use tip active MIDI, and so that's the easiest way to do it rather than using a special cable. I just plug a TRS cable into the MIDI jack on the Strymon and into the Flexiport on the bridge and set that to the correct mode there. And then after you've done that, you can just press send to device and it's ready to go.